I didn't stop her when she walked out, not because I didn't care, but because deep down I knew that begging her to stay wouldn't fix anything. When she said she needed space, it wasn't just space she needed. It was a break from us, from everything that had become heavy in our relationship. I knew it was over, but I couldn't bring myself to admit it at first. I watched her leave with her suitcase, looking back only once before disappearing through the door, and I stayed silent. I didn't fight. I chose to let her go. The days that followed were harder than I could have imagined. I stayed busy, work, friends, distractions, but nothing filled the void she left behind. The apartment felt colder, quieter. Her scent still lingered in the air. Her favorite book sat untouched on the shelf. I didn't reach out. I didn't call or text. I didn't even look for her online. I knew I had to stop holding on. The love I had for her was real, but I couldn't keep pretending things were fine when we were both living separate lives. It wasn't easy, though. There were nights I lay awake wondering where she was, if she was okay, if I was ever going to hear her voice again. But I told myself that healing meant moving forward, not backward. I didn't want to keep living in the past, even though it was painful to let go. So I focused on me. I started working out again, rediscovered hobbies I'd let slip, and slowly found peace in the small things, going for a walk, reading a book, or just sitting in silence. I began to feel like myself again, the version of me before all the chaos. But just when I thought I had completely moved on, she reached out. I didn't expect it. Her message popped up on my phone, simple and to the point. "Can we talk?" For a long moment, I stared at the screen. Part of me wanted to ignore it, to move on without looking back. But another part of me, maybe the part that still loved her, was curious. I didn't reply right away. I knew I had to be careful. I had learned the hard way that reopening old wounds wasn't always the right thing. So I took a moment, letting my thoughts settle before responding. "If you need closure, we can talk. But if it's something else, don't come unless you're sure," I typed, pressing send before I could second-guess myself. She didn't reply immediately, and I thought maybe that was it. But a couple of days later, the doorbell rang, and there she was. She looked the same, but something in her eyes had changed. There was regret, maybe even guilt, but also a quiet determination I hadn't seen before. She didn't speak right away. Neither of us did. The silence between us was thick, like we were both unsure of what to say, how to start again. Finally, she spoke, her voice shaky. "I'm sorry. I made a mistake." Her words caught me off guard, and I found myself holding my breath. I had always hoped she would realize it, but hearing her say it out loud was a different feeling altogether. I thought I needed more. I thought I could find happiness elsewhere. But the truth is, it was always you. I was wrong. I left, and I regret it every day. I stayed quiet, letting her talk. Her apology was genuine, but it didn't change the past. I had learned to live without her, to find peace on my own. And as much as part of me wanted to forgive her, to pretend nothing had happened, I knew that I couldn't just go back to the way things were. Not anymore. "I stayed silent when you left," I said, my voice calm but steady. Not because I didn't care, but because I needed to find myself again. I didn't want to be the man who always needed someone else to complete him. I needed to heal. And I did. I'm not the same person I was before. Her face softened, tears welling in her eyes. "I know. I was selfish. I see that now. I never should have left." I didn't say anything right away. I looked at her, searching for the words that would put everything into perspective, but I couldn't find them. In the end, the truth was simple. "I've moved on," I said, "and I can't go back to the way we were." She stood there, her eyes filled with sorrow. "I understand," she whispered. "I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry. I regret everything." The weight of her words hung in the air, and for a moment, I thought I might reach out, tell her I understood, that it was okay. But I couldn't. I had already moved forward, and sometimes moving forward meant leaving the past behind, no matter how much it hurt. I know. I said softly. "But it's time for both of us to let go." With that, she turned and left. I didn't watch her go this time. I stayed right where I was, feeling a sense of finality wash over me. I had let go, and for the first time in months, I didn't feel the ache of her absence. Instead, I felt peace, and it was enough. If you've ever had to let go of someone, even when it hurt more than anything, you're not alone. Sometimes love means letting go, even when your heart doesn't want to, and sometimes healing means choosing yourself first. It's not easy, but it's the only way to move forward, and in the end, it's the only way to find true peace.